Hey, great Thursday evening. It's a cool evening actually in the city of Brownsville. It's been a very, very interesting day. And one of we'll go in. I want to say hi to everyone that's coming in slowly and appreciate y'all being here tonight. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Who's here? Marta. Hey, Marta. How you doing, Marta? And guys, we'll go in very quickly. We do have a lot of information to share with everyone today. Hello, Saucillos. How's it going? A lot of information. A lot of things have happened in the city of Brownsville. I think right now, what's most concerning, we always start off with the new numbers. And we're going to talk about the new numbers in a little bit. Uh, Something else that happened, fortunately, we did get numbers early. We got numbers early and we were able to share our local numbers. We did get numbers from Hidalgo County as well, and we'll talk about those as well. We got 210 for Hidalgo County, and the numbers are still coming in consistently, and they're not coming in a good way. But one of the reasons that we actually all met today with AOBE, which did an amazing job in regards to bringing a lot of our staff together, was to bring awareness not only to PIISD, but bring awareness to the community. That our teachers, our staff, are concerned for the health and the well-being of our teachers, and especially we're all concerned about the health and well-being of our students. And again, I do applaud AOBE for doing that today, and we're going to talk about more in a while. We do have with us Erica Soberanes, and Erica Soberanes is a teacher from Lopez High School, and I spoke with Erica this afternoon. Erica wanted to share some words to the board at the board meeting, but unfortunately didn't have an opportunity to. And we're always offering any of our teachers, any of our staff, an opportunity, to share what they are going through personally. And Erica, thank you for being on here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I was watching the board meeting earlier, and I didn't realize that they were going to have people talking and sharing their stories and their concerns. And I realized a little bit too late that I feel like I wanted to say something at the meeting, and I wasn't able to. So thank you for giving me this platform in order to share my story. So I tested positive for COVID on the 17th, which was last Wednesday. I originally started to get sick on the 12th, which was a Friday. I went through 3 days of really intense symptoms. I had everything from fever, headache, spinal pain, digestive issues, fatigue, pain in my breathing. It was a really hard situation to go through. And I wanted to just sort of share my story. I know I've been pretty vocal on Facebook about my situation and what I've been going through the past couple of weeks. Now is day 15 that I've been alone in my apartment. So that's been fun trying to recover from all of this. And if I cough, excuse me, I'm still having a hard time being able to speak clearly and breathe correctly. I received an email about possibilities about opening up the school year, and thankfully I got an email. I believe it was either yesterday or today. I think it was today. That they're thinking of opening the schools for the first 6 weeks online remote learning, and I think that personally for me, that's a great idea because I've been hearing that recovery for somebody who's going through COVID, you can take test after test and still be tested positive even after like 4 to 6 weeks. So I knew that going back right away might have been difficult for me because I wouldn't know if I would have a negative test or a positive test still. And like, I know that I'm going to be dealing with a lot of these symptoms for a long time, including fatigue. Fatigue is one of like the hardest things to deal with this sickness. Besides breathing and everything, it's tiring to get dressed and shower and do normal things that you have to do. I thought I was feeling good yesterday, and I ended up doing one load of laundry and tried to do some dishes, and then I just couldn't. That was like the extent of what I could do. So I was trying to think of like, well, how is this going to work if I'm still this fatigued? and I'm still going back to school to work with the kids.
Erica, just very quickly, you are employed with PIISD, is that correct? If you could tell us where and for how long, and your experience going back to school.
Yeah, so I'm actually the mariachi director at Lopez High School. And so I am very active with my students. We do a lot of work and performances, and I love it. You know, nobody wants to be able to go back and play with their students more than me and the fine arts departments at our school. You know, we build a great community with our students, with each other. And so we feel this pain and this loss of not being able to go back to school like when we want to, because there's a lot of things we want to do with our kids still. But I just wanted to share my story of what's been going on, because so that people know what COVID looks like in a PIISD employee now, I guess, and even just someone in general. I posted something on Facebook the day after I got my positive test back, and I had an incredible response from people saying that, like, wow, this was kind of like a slap on the face, slap across the face for me, to make me realize that this is really out there, because everybody kept telling me, now I know somebody who has it. Now I know somebody who's battling with it. And my case is moderate. I'm still able to stay at my house. I'm not on a ventilator. But even though my case is moderate, like, I have to take all of this, like all of this medication, different medications, inhalers. I'm waiting on a nebulizer to help with airways and everything. And I want to use my story and what I'm going through to, like, if anybody has any questions about what I might be going through, and feel free to ask. And then my concern was just passing this to my students. My mom this has also been extremely hard for her, because I'm not originally from Brownsville. I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And so my family is over in New Mexico and I'm here. I have a great support system here from a lot of people, friends, family members, colleagues who have been great to me during this whole time. But my mom is my biggest, like, supporter and my best friend. And she almost drove 16 hours down here to be with me. And I had to tell her, no, because I will not open my door to you, because if it's as bad as it is for me right now, I can't imagine how hard it's going to be for somebody who has pre-existing conditions, or somebody who's older, or, you know, at Lopez, I have so many friends and faculty who I know that if, like, they were to catch this, it would be really bad. And then I would cry to see one of my students going through this. You know what I mean? Like, that was my first thought when this whole thing started happening, and like they shut down the schools and this whole process started happening around spring break. My first thought was my students. I feared for them and their safety, and their health and their family's health. And so this is why I'm wanting to come out now and sort of talk about my story, so that people know what it's like in a moderate condition.
Well, we appreciate you taking that step. And one of the things that we've been saying here is that it's very important for us to keep each other informed, to keep the community informed, because what happens, Erica, and what happens, guys, is that if people don't know about it, they don't hear about it, they tend to be lax in regards to taking precautions. And I think that what's happening is that we're getting a lot of mixed signals from individuals. You shared with us that you started feeling the symptoms on June the 12th, and you started to feel, and then you found out on June the 17th in regards to it being positive. Did you approach the school district in regards to letting them know that you were feeling ill, or that you tested positive? And if you did, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I reached out to HR, because I figured that's what I was supposed to do, reach out to HR and to my principal, because I wanted to be transparent with everybody, especially because I knew I wanted to sort of talk through my story with people. So I wanted my principal and then, of course, HR to know. And my principal's been amazing throughout this whole thing. She checks up on me. Like, she sends me a lot of different messages. She calls. She's offered to, like, drop off anything at my door if I need it. It's been really amazing, everything that she's been willing to do. And they just told me that HR just told me that they were sorry to hear about my condition, but that I am not allowed anywhere near BISD buildings or functions, and completely understandable. I don't even want to leave my apartment right now because I'm so scared to possibly give this to somebody else. But that was pretty much it, just warning. And then I have to show proof of negative testing in order to go back.
Well, I mentioned in regards to communicating with BISD because, we do our best to try and keep up in regards to notifications or notices that are giving out there, to the community, to let the community know what's going on. And as of yet, we have not heard of a teacher, testing positive out at Lopez High School. We've heard about our band student from Lopez High School, and until today, we thought that was the extent of it. Now we come to find out that HR was notified about this back between the 12th and the 17th in regards to it, and that's already a week. Isn't why do you think it's so long takes them so long to let the community know about what's going on?
I honestly don't have an answer to that question. I just figured there might be protocols in place that they have to go through, like all this information, just like everything else has a process. It's got to go from this person to that person, and I figured that's just part of the process. But I figured if it got out eventually, I had put it publicly on my own Facebook anyway. So I have a lot of teachers and Brownsville community on my Facebook page. So they would find out that way anyways through me speaking out. But I don't know why exactly it hasn't been put out there yet. But I also wonder if maybe it has to do with the fact that I wasn't at a BISD location within the 2-week span of when I contracted the virus. It's already, before I started showing symptoms, it had been like 3 or so weeks since the last time I had been on a BISD property, basically to just do some housekeeping stuff that I needed with the program, give back refunds to the students, all of that sort of stuff. But that was the last time that I'd been there.
Now, Doreen is asking, do you know if it was community-based, travel, or linked to a previous case?
So I'm actually not sure. I'm still trying to find that out. I thought I had specifically found the time when I had contracted it. So I was invited out with a friend to go to a restaurant and just sort of eat, have a drink. That was Monday. If it was the 12th, it was Monday the 8th, I believe. That's when I went out. And it was the first time I had been out anywhere not wearing a mask. So I thought that was like the exact day. But previously before that, the week before, I had been suffering from weird heart palpitations. I didn't know if it was stress or if I was starting to get sick. I'm not sure. But now it's starting to come out that heart palpitations are a symptom of COVID. So if it was either one of two things. Either I contracted it before when I had started to get those heart palpitations, or the heart palpitations weakened my body and my immune system enough so that when I first went out the first time without a mask, I contracted it. So I'm not actually sure, because I've been really safe. I don't go anywhere to sit down at restaurants. I was very hesitant to go that one night when my friend asked. Like, I've been quarantining a lot of this time with my mom so that we could help each other. And for 2 months, we didn't go anywhere. We would go take like a drive and that's it. Like, we would go curbside or delivery for groceries. Like, we were being super safe. So I have no idea.
Erica, recently the school district has released information in regards to 2 different schools being closed. One being Benavides, and today Canales, due to an employee being positive. And now we're learning about your story. We have yet to peak according to the numbers. What would you say as a teacher, that we should expect going back into the school year? Do you think that it is safe to go back with this new, with this pandemic that we're still dealing with?
In my personal opinion, if we were to start like the first day of school back in classes with everybody, no, I don't. for my own experience as a teacher, like I'm in a portable right now, and I know that there's other teachers in portables. Like that air circulation already kind of is not the greatest as it is, but you know, we make do with what we have because we love our program and we love our school and we love our students. But now with this going on, like there's no way my students share instruments, you know, like beginners and advanced, they share certain instruments. There's no way I'm going to be able to sanitize the instruments in between all the classes in order for them not to get sick. There's no way that we're going to be able to be spread out 6 feet apart from each other when like the portable isn't even maybe like, I don't know how many feet wide, you know? Also like passing in the hallways, like there's going to be so many kids passing back and forth. It's just, I've had 15 days of being alone in my apartment to think about what possibilities there could be going back into the school year. And I don't know how any version, hybrid or not, is going to help keep any of us safe.
Erica, what would you recommend to the superintendent and the board in regards to safety?
Right now, the only thing that I can really think of is to do remote learning until we can get numbers under control, because I feel like our numbers are higher now than they were when we originally closed down the school. And I'm just wanting those numbers to go down first before anything else can even be thought of. You know what I mean? This has nothing to do with anything other than, for me, the health of myself, because right now I have to be selfish in my recovery and in my getting through this. And then, of course, once I get better, the health and safety of my students and the faculty, because I don't wish this on anybody, you know what I mean? And this is a moderate case, like I keep saying. So I just think it's been hard to do remote learning, but it's going to be harder to see our kids sick. It's going to be harder to see people we love sick. There's a lot of ways that we can get creative with online learning. You know what I mean? It's a learning curve for everybody. Teachers are learning just as much as the kids are. And like I said before, I know that we as teachers want to be in there with the kids as much as they want to be there. You know what I mean? We don't necessarily just not want to go back to classes. You know, it's not a vacation for us. If anything, it's harder in some aspects, the online learning. But like, say personally for me, if I still keep testing positive, even if I don't have as many symptoms, or even if I do get a negative test, but I'm still symptomatic, which I've been hearing a lot from people that is possible, that you get a negative test and you still experience symptoms for months. It's called COVID long haulers. It's going to be easier for me physically to be able to teach my students online. I don't feel like it would be as physically taxing. You know what I mean?
Eric, I'm curious and I'm trying to learn, if possible, can you please share how you feel your immune system was prior to testing positive? I want to know if taking supplemental vitamins or anything else you think might have been helpful.
Before I got sick, I was extremely healthy. I don't have any underlying conditions. I don't have any breathing issues. If anything, I've spent a lot of time building up my lungs because I'm a singer and a flute player as well. So I've spent a lot of my life working on breathing exercises and building up my lungs. I don't smoke. I try to eat very healthy. I exercise. So I just feel like I am susceptible to catching colds a lot and certain things like that, but it's never been anything this bad before. I've had the flu before, and that's not what this is. This is as if you took the flu, pneumonia, bronchitis, and put them all together into one.
Go.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you. So sorry to hear everything that you're going through, Erica. But I just have a question, because I'm wondering, because the numbers of positives that we've seen in Brownsville, when you contracted this and you came out positive, were you still working at that time, or you were off your contract already?
No, I was off the contract already. Yeah, my last day was actually the day that I was at Lopez to fix everything up. I think it was May 27th was like the last time. May 26th or 27th was the last time I was at the campus working.
Okay.
So there was plenty of time in between.
Okay, so that's what I'm wondering, Erasmo, if that's what they're doing, if maybe not reporting any of the positive cases that people are off contract. So they're only reporting the cases of people still working or reporting to the workplace. But Erica, I did want to say, if there is anything that we can do for you, please, let us know, especially if we don't know so much about this virus yet. And if this is still, ongoing, your symptoms, and we don't get across to these people about doing the distance learning, and you're required to report, please let us know, because you do have some rights out there under the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. So we can help you with that. So please, we're here to help you if there's anything, and hopefully, you'll continue being strong and with a full recovery.
Is PIISD considering giving teachers extra sick days? And this might be something Micaela or Ida can answer. Is PIISD considering giving teachers extra sick days or some sort of waiver if we contract COVID-19? We only get 10 days, and most of us don't have extra days or sick leave.
I was actually curious about that too, because I was thinking about it. Like they say, even if you test positive, you have to quarantine for 14 days. That 14 days is automatically more than we get for our allotted time off. So I was wondering if, say, I still keep getting positive tests, like it's extended 2 weeks and 2 weeks and 2 weeks, and before you know it, it's 6 to 8 weeks that I'm not able to go back, whether I'm symptomatic or not. Like that test is still coming back positive, and I can't go 6 to 8 weeks. Like I was curious about that too.
Yeah, at this time, they are not. We have recommended something like that because unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where we all or us have known somebody who has gotten ill, and it makes it very real. So we approached that idea of the district giving additional days or putting them on the possibility of working from home or doing the distance learning for them to be one of the teachers selected for that. We haven't gotten any confirmation on that. But as far as on your rights, right now, you only have the 10 days that are allowed under that Response Act. And then after that, you can go into the extended FMLA, which would be at the 2/3 pay of your pay. And that does not go into your sick leave at all. So it doesn't affect your days, but it would be, unfortunately, down just to 2/3 of your pay.
Well, that seems kind of trippy, doesn't it? I mean, look, we are getting tons of money from federal and from state, to deal with COVID-19. Shouldn't some of that money be, put aside for our personnel, for our teachers that are going to, because look, Erica is proof of this. Our teachers are not going to be immune. I mean, I'm very proud, of Erica, because it's very important to people that people know that our teachers are succumbing to this as well. Even if they weren't out there, they're still our personnel. They're still the individuals that have taken care of our children for years and will continue to take care of our children because that is their passion. So I mean, why isn't the district considering separating some of that money that we're receiving in regards for COVID-19 and some of these grants and put them aside for teachers that are going to succumb to COVID-19?
I agree with you.
Another question.
Go ahead.
Another question. Protection equipment, the masks, the shields, the gloves, the sanitizers. Do you think it would help?
I do. I do think a lot of that would help. Masks for sure. Distance, anything I think helps. Anything like gloves, hand sanitizer, cleaning supplies. I think all of it helps. You know what I mean? I don't think we can do too much for this, is what I mean. Every little thing is going to help. I hope that like everybody in general who's going through this pandemic in the world isn't doing only their bare minimum to help stop the spread of this, because if we only do the bare minimum, like that's not going to work. And that's for everybody in general. We have to think about not only ourselves, but other people, you know, and wearing a mask to help somebody else and not just yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. And I have a question on that. Also, I saw all the medicines that you say that you're taking, and I'm sure the doctor's visits and all of that. How has this, with the insurance plan that you have at the district, how has this impacted you financially?
I mean, it's been okay. Everything's been relatively cheap. Actually had no issues with the health insurance. The only thing which actually isn't anything to do with the health insurance is that it's just copay after copay everywhere I go. Every time I get a test, like when I got the test, I had to pay for a copay for the test, and then I had a telephone conference with the day and night clinic when I got all this prescribed. It was a $35 copay for the telephone call. So the health insurance itself has been fine. I haven't had any issues. I'm looking to see now if the nebulizer is covered with the insurance. I'm not sure. But if it is or if it isn't, I still think it's gonna help in my recovery, so I'll figure it out. The most expensive thing out of all of this have actually been the vitamins. The vitamins, like they're not prescriptions, but they're something that I need to take, and those are really the most expensive out of everything.
Well, one of the things that you know, we're concerned. I think we're all here concerned about all our students and all our staff. But you know, you do come from Lopez High School, and you know, if you know me, I am very, very passionate about my Lopez Lobos out there. You know, I love them to death. I love the school, and they've been very, very good to me. I love the principal. I mean, I think Miss Aguilar has done an amazing job, and you know, I appreciate everything she's done for our students and for our staff out there. But again, Virginia's saying something that I'm concerned about. You know, Lopez does serve some of our poorest students in regards to demographics in the city. And, you know, I am concerned as well, you know, that a lot of our students out there, you know, they don't have, you know, insurance to go to the doctors, won't have insurance, you know, to get a lot of their medications either in case they would come to succumb. We've already had one Lopez student, you know, and again, you know, they said, well, you know, she got it from her family, and that's understandable. The issue was that they had asked for our students to come back onto campus in order to, you know, to do the band, to do the athletics conditioning. Seeing the situation that it is, Erica, do you see it? Do you think it's recommendable to have our students and staff going on to campus right now the way the numbers are?
I don't think so, only because it's really hard to say, only because like none of us know what to do in this situation. Like none of us have ever been in a situation like this before. Nobody's ever lived through a pandemic to say, oh, like this is what we should do. You know what I mean? If anybody survived a pandemic, they're 102 years old and survived the Spanish influenza. And even back then, their education system is a completely different from what it is today, you know? So it's really hard to say. I know that especially as a fine arts person, we're very passionate about what we do, music, and we're passionate about getting our kids into a community where they feel like they're safe and they feel like they're protected. But what do we do now that this community that we formed for them is no longer safe? Because of this virus. This virus has permeated our little small community, in my instance, mariachi, or in this case, band, you know, I don't know. It's really tricky to say. I want to say no, that I don't think it's safe, but at the same time, I don't know what some of my students are going through at home and what their home life is like. And I don't know if it's safer for them there or at the school. I don't know. I just know that the risk for catching this virus is greater being at school.
Well, Lynn is saying, you know, as I suspected, that you were a pretty healthy individual without underlying conditions, yet it hit you hard for a moderate level. COVID, and yet politicians feel that it's safe for students to go back to school. Thank you, Erica, for sharing your firsthand experience May God help you have a speedy recovery. And again, guys, one of the things that I think Isidro was sharing out there, coronavirus does not respect anyone out there. And it's important to bring awareness. It's important to express and let other individuals know, don't be afraid. Your story will help out hundreds of other individuals out there. It's important to share these stories. It's important for the community to know that you don't have to have an underlying condition. You don't have to be unhealthy, in order to succumb to something as horrible as what we're doing right now. Erica, is there anything else you want to share with our community?
No, that was pretty much it. I just wanted to get my story out there because I know that people have been saying that they're afraid to come forward and say that they have the virus versus any sort of repercussions that might come up. I don't know in what aspect, but I know that if I don't speak up, how are people going to know that this is affecting me? And not only just me, but like everybody around me, you know what I mean? It's not only physically taxing, but emotionally too. Emotionally for me and my family and those around me, anybody I might have come into contact with, I've had to phone call within those couple of weeks. Anybody that I might have seen, like the thought that I could possibly give this to somebody is terrifying. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to make sure that people knew, and anybody, because I know that there was a lot of people who also weren't believing that this virus was even real either. But I put on my Facebook that like, now you know somebody who has it, and somebody not who's in a nursing home and older, not somebody who's with underlying conditions. I'm 27 years old and I'm healthy. I was healthy before I got this. So this virus doesn't discriminate, like you said before. It hits everybody and it hits people hard. Some people show no symptoms at all and they're still positive. One thing that I know that I will be doing whenever I do get those negative tests back is I want to go get the antibody tests done so I can start donating plasma to help anybody who might need the help.
Well, guys, any other questions, guys? Erica, again, my prayers, and again, and I know that my Lopez family is going to take good care of you. But whatever you need from us, we're just about a phone call, an inbox away. Whatever you need, you let us know. And a lot of times people will say that, like, well, whatever you need, you let us know. But I know Ida and I know Micaela and I a little bit know Frankie, and we're here for you. Whatever you need, reach out to any one of us. If it has to do with anything dealing with school, procedure, policies, Micaela and Ida, they're amazing at it. And again, I know, my love to Miss Aguilar out there. I mean, I love that woman. I think she is doing a great job, and I'm very proud that you share that story with. She's out there, going to your house, dropping off whatever you may need, and again, Erica, please, our prayers and whatever you need, you let us know, and come back and let us know how you're doing in the next couple of days if you can.
Thank you.
Eric,
yes.
Erica, if you don't mind that if I reach out to you after this, maybe tomorrow or when you feel up to it, so we can help you to get your message across. I think it's important for administration to actually see what an employee is going through with this illness, so they can see if they're still in denial about this. But it's very real, and you're a perfect example of being healthy and everything, and you still were contracted this virus. So if you don't mind me reaching out to you and see how we can connect you with administration, superintendent, some board members, so you can share your story to them.
Of course, yeah. Go ahead and reach out to me in whatever way. I'd love to help.
Okay, thank you.
And you can stay with us as long as you want, Erica. I mean, we do have Jimmy here, and hey, Jimmy Vela from PI. Can you hear us, Jimmy? Put up the volume, Jimmy.
I might have to let you guys go because I do get tired pretty easily. But thank you so much for having me on.
No, thank you. God bless, Erica, and stay in touch.
Thanks, Erica.
Bye. Thank you.
Jimmy, can you hear us? Jimmy! 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 Frankie, work with Jimmy. Frankie.
I got it.
Okay, Ida, what did you think about Erica's story?
That really hit me hard. It made me a little emotional to see her struggle and everything that she's going through. So prayers for her on that. We are aware of several other people as well, and it's so sad, and that's why it gets very frustrating when administration doesn't see the importance of this and what they can do as far as doing their part. But it's hit home for a lot of people, and more on a daily basis. We even had one of our board of directors that lost a family member to this virus, and it's difficult. So, I'm just hoping we can continue to bring advocacy to this.
Can you hear us, Jimmy? No. Well, let me tell you, I'm concerned. I just got notice and notification, something that Jasmine saying, why are teachers in the buildings working summer school? And we just learned about someone at summer school contracting it from somebody else. And when is this going to stop? When are these people going to understand and learn that look, you guys, and it's not just PIISD. It's every group and organization out there that wants to hurry up this, bring people back, type of thing. Look what happened to the state of Texas. Look what happened because the governor decided to hurry up and rush open a lot of the places that we all knew was a mistake to open. And I'm sorry, but this superintendent and this board have followed their lead. They followed their lead. It was not time to open the bars. It was not time to bring people onto campus. It was not. And you want me to tell you why it was not? Because we listened to the news and the news of what this virus, what coronavirus was doing to people up in New York, in Italy, and Korea, in Timbuktu, in Ecuador, in Chile. All of it was letting us know that was not safe. So why are they adamant to bring our people back on campus?
That's our exact question as well. We just have to continue to try to get it across to them, whichever way possible. And we've been pushing for even the staff that is working right now. We've been pushing for them to work remotely if they're able to work remotely. And that at least will reduce that risk. So, but they don't budge, but we're going to continue fighting. It doesn't help that it comes from the top, and the governor, lifting restrictions and things like that. That does not help at all. And that's why it's important that everybody see what these elected officials are doing. And we have to remember, we do.
Hey, Jimmy, are you back?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going,
Micaela, do you know Jimmy Vela?
I don't know him. I've seen him on your show, though.
Oh, so you do watch our show.
board president for Point Isabel ISD, Jimmy Vela.
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing, sir?
Hi.
How you doing, Jimmy?
Pretty good. A little tired. I've been very busy these past few days, but
you know that fatigue is one of the signs.
Well, I know what all of the conditions are. It is scary, but thankfully that's the only symptom. But I know the fatigue is coming from the work that has been there. I'm not getting sleepy. It's not sleepy that I'm feeling. It's just tired of all the work that's getting done at this point.
Hey Jay, we did have Erica on, right before, and Erica is one of our teachers out there at Lopez. She has tested positive for COVID-19. Are y'all seeing that some of our teachers and some of our students out in Port Isabel are also succumbing to COVID-19?
Yeah, I've heard of a couple of cases. I haven't heard of any confirmations. But as far as the district's concerned, I know the superintendent's taking the precautionary measures to let everybody know, right? When that does occur. But it's right now it's gotten to a point where the numbers in Port Isabel altogether are concerning, right? Like, I think the last time I came on here, it was like we had like 3 or 4 people.
Yes.
So yeah, it's already up to, I want to say we're up to 14 or 15,
Well,
which is a lot for a small town.
and it's not just 14 or 15. You have to take into consideration that right now Cameron County is reporting 53 individuals out there.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I'm not so concerned with the people that are detained out there, but we're talking about individuals that are going out there and working with these individuals that are coming out of the facility and going back onto their homes in Port Isabel, and probably spreading the Rona.
Our biggest concern, obviously, is the island. Right, we have so many visitors right now. Again, the last time I came on, I was so concerned that the beach was reopening. It's reopened, and we all can see, the numbers have just spiked all around the valley. And unfortunately, it's all of these places that are reopening, like you all were mentioning, too soon. So it is definitely a concern. So it's definitely something we're monitoring very closely.
Well, Brownsville is pouring out millions and millions of people that are positive, and I don't know if you've seen our list, but they're very horrible. If you look at today's list, it's very, very telling. You're talking about 22-year-olds, 22, 22, 22, 23, 23, 23, 24, 24. It's just devastating. Like I said, one of the things that we complained is that we're moving too fast in regards to opening everything up. One of our concerns here is that it seems like our school board, our school district, is adamant in regards to bringing staff, people, and students back onto campus. Is Port Isabel of the same mindset?
Again, our superintendent's doing a great job in taking out precautionary measures, right? Anything that needs to take place, like she's making sure she's in all the county calls, making sure that all of the measures are being followed. She was actually telling me she was on a call with TEA today, and still even TEA is unsure, right, of what we're going to do. So as far as those measures are concerned, I know she's taking those measures that need to be taken to avoid, any kind of interaction, any kind of contact with each other. It's like, it's not even are they contracted or not. It's like treat everybody like if they are, right? That's how everybody should be living nowadays. Wearing your mask, social distancing, just making sure that those protocols are kept just in case. So as far as them going back, I mean, we're still waiting on what TEA is going to say. We're not going to jump the gun and say, you know what, our district's going to do this. We want to make sure that it is aligned with what the rest of the state is doing.
Let's do the smart thing. And now, one of the things, and I'm not trying to educate anyone out there, but one of the things that we have to understand is no matter what recommendations TEA makes or the state makes, they are recommendations. They cannot dictate for our communities. They cannot say for our communities because they're not living what we're living. Right. They give recommendations and you apply them as best suited for y'all's district. And we need to apply them as best suited for our district. Our community here in Cameron County has seen an explosion in regards to the numbers. So I think that's going to be very telling. Micaela, today we had, we were out there on the street today, and we were out there because part of our concern is the safety of our students and our teachers. What was the demonstration about today?
We had several topics that we were addressing. First of all, safety first, for not only for the teachers, the employees, but our students as well. But we were also looking at everything that was being proposed, including the duty-free lunch. We want to make sure that PIISD does not apply for a waiver to of course get rid of the duty-free lunch for our teachers. Planning period. I'm sorry, I'm hearing an echo. The planning periods, they were proposing or are proposing planning periods on Friday afternoons. We surveyed our members, and what they said is they want a daily planning period, not just an afternoon. And of course, the one-time stipend. We did gather over 1,300 signatures for the stipend for every employee. We are yet to see, we do have hope They are phasing in the compensation plan, so we are hopeful and we will continue to advocate. And lastly, seniority. In the new compensation plan, they are not addressing seniority. It's just basically a minimum, midpoint, and maximum for all certified employees, and we want to make sure that that is addressed as well.
Ida?
That's correct. There's quite a bit of issues with that compensation plan, and we have made it known on that. It has been forwarded to legal at TSPA because we're very concerned as far as it by the looks of it, because not anybody has gotten a full explanation of this plan that was being rushed. But by the looks of it, it looks like your experienced employees are going to be left behind, and that's not right for them. And that was something that we have fought for equality in compensation in the past. We did have a very big case in Brownsville against the district a few years back. It was a gender discrimination case, and where we represented quite a bit of people in the district, and we won. And that was because of the compensation plan, how it was in the past. And in reviewing this, which is why it was sent to legal, in reviewing this, it looks like it leaves that opportunity for the district to be able to continue to start leaving people behind again in that salary scale. So that's why we have a big problem with this compensation plan as it's being presented.
Jimmy, there's a question for you. Do you know if Port Isabel Superintendent Ms. Alarcon, is open to reopening?
She, again, it's very, very, like, her and I obviously have been working very, very closely, and she's just like all the precautions you all take. Like she double questions everything, right? Obviously, right now it's going day by day. You can't hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We're going day by day right now, just like I told you all the last time I was on. Is she open to reopening if it is safe? That is always the question to ask. Is it safe? Is it worth getting all of our students and all of our staff in the building, even at social distancing, right? Like, is that even safe? Like, what's going to happen? What are we planning? Right now, it is too soon, even though we're so close to the school year beginning again. We're still too far away to say, you know what? Yes, this is going to happen.
Jimmy, would you say that Point Isabel is equipped, ready? The teachers, are they ready for distance learning if it comes to that for your district?
I would say yes. This past semester really gave us a run, right? A run for our money. It really did prepare us on what to expect. I'm confident enough that we already have the staff development ready for our teachers to know, right, what to expect. They already know what to expect. They already did it. It's just a matter of how we are measuring the students as well, right? That's also, it has a lot to do with what they're learning, how they're learning it. So definitely, I believe our teachers are prepared. And I know that right now our curriculum office is working on getting prepared for the just in case. So it's prepared.
There's some concerns in regards to people of sharing some concerns in regards to the 4th of July. Is that something that y'all out there in Port Isabel are also concerned with, having all these individuals, stop by Port Isabel that are going to the island?
Again, I go back to our last talk, right? Like, they're opening the island. It's like our small town's becoming very susceptible. We're a very close-knit community, so having a lot of people at our local HEB, having a lot of people at our local Walmart is very, very scary. I can tell you all of my family's wearing a mask right now. Whenever we step out of the house, we're wearing a mask because, I mean, you never know. Like you're saying, 4th of July is coming up. I can tell you right now, I'm going to go grocery shopping tomorrow for the rest of the next 2 weeks, right? Because I don't want to be out there in the shopping centers. But it's everywhere. So it's kind of like you got to fend for yourself right now. You got to fend for your family. And when it comes to 4th of July, I mean, unfortunately, we know the island's going to be full.
Yes.
It's just staying away, staying away.
How can they apply for a waiver regarding duty-free lunch when Texas law says all Texas workers get 30 minutes lunches? TA also has a policy requires this, or so I thought. Any info?
The district does have the right to apply for waiver, especially right now that they're not operating under normal conditions. But that is something that we are strongly against because it is something that TSTA fought for several years back to put that in place and to make that law because it was not. And we do not want to risk losing that. And if they get a waiver this year, we don't want them to think that they're going to be able to file for a waiver from here forward. So we are proposing different options on that as well. They don't have to take away the teacher's duty-free lunch. There's different options. Our thing is that they just need to be open to other people's ideas during this time, because this is something that is new to everyone. And no cabinet members or superintendent, no matter how good they are or whatever, or how much experience they have, they're not going to have all the answers for this. And that's why they need to be able to be open to getting comments from other people and ideas. And that's what's going to make it work. Especially that is why we stay in touch with our members to get their input. And they have a lot of great ideas. They're the front line. They're the people that are out there. They're going to know what's best and what works better for them than anybody else that's working out of just an office. So, but hopefully they will not file for that waiver.
One of the other things that was talked about today, and I don't know if y'all have talked about it yet, Jimmy, was, giving teachers raises. Have y'all decided in regards to giving our Port Isabel teachers a raise? Or certified staff?
We actually did work on, the raise wasn't significant, unfortunately. We did give them a raise. Right now, it has a lot to do with that funding. Like you said, they are giving us COVID funding, but that being, they're also being strict on what that's being used for, right?
Right.
So we're definitely always looking out for our teachers, right? Our teachers are without teachers, we don't have schools. So that's definitely something we look out for. Our auxiliary staff, all of our staff is very important. So definitely that is something we always strive for. We always look for ways to give our teachers raises. Unfortunately, at this point right now, it's hard. Being a Chapter 41 school, that's another thing for us, another huge battle. Giving $17 million back to the state yearly really hurts. It really, really hurts us already being a small district. So definitely it's something we look out for, whether it be small, something, right? A raise is what we look for every year. And we're definitely already working into next year's budget to make sure that they're compensated to where they're supposed to be.
Micaela, today we discussed a lot of these questions like Tess is asking in regards to midpoint and percentages. Some teachers are saying, well, we heard we didn't get any raise. Did teachers, certified personnel, actually get a raise at PIISD? And if so, what is the percentage of that raise for an average teacher?
It was 1,680 for all teachers and librarians. Administration will not get a raise. There will be adjustment for a few in order to bring them up to the scale. For classified, which includes clerical and manual trades, it was a 3% from midpoint, correct, Ida?
That is correct.
Now, in regards to the 1680 that was given, what percentage would that fall in an average salary for certified personnel in the district? Do we have an idea?
It's roughly between 2.86 up to 3%, roughly around that area.
Doesn't that sound kind of low? When San Benito is giving their certified personnel a 4% increase?
We definitely agree. That is definitely not enough for the teachers or for all the staff. And then for them to exclude other people on top of that, they excluded the counselors, the nurses, the diagnosticians, still quite a bit of people. And that was a strong argument that we were having with them, because that is not right, because now that they're going to be off of that teacher scale, it excludes them from that. And so what we were asking them is, the people that have been removed off of the teacher scale, go ahead and include them, make a note on their tables that they will be getting a raise whenever the teachers get a raise. And that's something we're going to continue to push in this phase 2 that they're going to do of the approval of the compensation plan. But as of today, they did not approve that.
Micaela, if I may, what can you explain to us the step increase? Is that in addition to, or is that also included in the 1680 for the teachers?
The perfect word to use is embedded. So basically, it's a 1680. Your step is already included in the 1680.
But if I may on that one also, sorry. In today's meeting this morning that we did meet with Dr. Gutierrez and some of the speech pathologists in regards to their concerns on that pay scale, he revealed something that they're doing away with that step table. Okay. Just because it's on there, and that I think that was very interesting, just because it is on there, people think that it's going to continue where they're going to move up a step every year. And Dr. Gutierrez said this morning that that's not going to be the case anymore with this plan, and if it comes into place. So the steps are going to be completely done away with. When they use that step scale, it is only going to be for new hires. Okay. So that is when they will take their years of experience into account and decide what step they put them on. So everyone else now will be on an annual basis if the board decides to approve a raise by percentage or a set amount, and also who will be included in that raise.
Ladies, ladies, is it fair to say that the increase is only $750 since this embedded is, and they're just fluffing up the numbers, so to speak? Is that fair to say?
Yes and no, because I think that the bigger picture there is that they're doing away with the step scales. So I think that is very alarming. So yeah, it's 1680 this year, but what does that mean from here forward? So yes, if they were already expecting a step amount, and if you subtract that amount from the 1680, then yes, it's only going to be that amount. But it will officially be only your raise amount because the step scale is being done away with.
Now, this is the first time I hear about removal of the steps, and I'm totally against that.
And that's the thing again, that there's not enough transparency. They're saying that they're doing transparency and all of that, but the transparency is not there. And that is why we have such a big issue with this compensation plan as it is being presented. There's way too many questions out there that have not been answered. And they spoke about how long the process has been. I don't know if you guys caught that, where they said when TASB first came in to do the study, when it went before the board and the different committees for discussion. But the problem with that is that, as you all see on those meetings, when they do the presentations, it's very difficult to read those charts. And which is why we have asked for open records on it, so we could study it and review it. And they never issued that out to anyone. So yeah, it's very alarming to hear that they're doing away with that step scale. And I think the teachers are not aware of that. And once they become aware of that, they're going to be very upset as well.
Well, Jimmy, one of the things one of the questions I have for you, I did see a report out there, Jimmy, in regards to y'all's superintendent there at Port Isabel, and how she was the highest paid superintendent in the world, if not the state of Texas, which is the world, basically. The highest paid superintendent in Texas is Port Isabel's superintendent, Terry Alarcon.
If you go into the updated TEA website, you'll see that there was a miss report in our PIIMS. So she does not get. I wish we could pay our staff that much. If we could pay our superintendent that much, we can definitely pay our teachers that much more, right? But no, that is a miss report. I think that was the highest paying superintendent in Texas
in the world.
No.
Yeah, but you want me to tell you who is the highest superintendent in the state of Texas?
Yeah,
we're number one, bro.
Yeah.
We're number one, and let me tell you guys. And after today's meeting, the superintendent got a 3% increase to his already exuberant salary.
This person's making me blush now. We gotta.
So now the superintendent is going to get a 3% raise, because that's according to his contract out there. One of the things that happened here recently was that this board unanimously, and I don't care what anyone says, because they're saying that they did a 4 and 2 because 2 of them abstained. An abstention is a cop-out, is an election ploy. And I'm sorry for La Pingüina de la Minerva and Little Eddie. Abstaining on something where you don't have a conflict of interest in is a cop-out. It's chicken crap. Chicken crap. That's what it is. Either vote yes or vote no, because if you abstain, it's a vote yes. Anyway, they voted to give the superintendent an extension in the contract. A 1-year extension in a contract that wasn't even up. Does that make sense to anyone out there? Extend a superintendent's contract when their first year isn't over, and there's nowhere close to finishing his term as superintendent. Does that make sense?
Not at this time, no.
Jimmy, does that make sense? Would y'all, on the first year that y'all have had, now Terry Alarcon's been there for a couple of years, would you give them an extension of a contract where they just started?
I know all of that has to do with the way the contract's written. So it really depends on how that contract's written. I don't think it's I've never seen the Brownsville ISD contract. I know all of the contracts are written differently depending on the district. But I know that the evaluation's done annually, right? And then the extension's done when the evaluation's due. So I don't know how Brownsville's doing it. I guess that would be that definitely is a legal question, right, to ask, because it's on how the contract's written. But that's very curious.
Micaela, do you think it's proper to give a superintendent before his first year is up an extension to a contract?
I think the timing was off.
So he hasn't been there a year?
No, hasn't been there a year.
Oh.
No. I think that we have pressing issues like the virus that we need to address. I think we have distant learnings to be learned, because not everybody was ready. All the teachers, all the paras, everyone stepped up to the plate, and they did what they had to do to close the year. But the timing is off, in my opinion.
Ida?
I agree as well. He is barely going to come up on his year, and it was just not the right timing right now, especially because if we can't give that type of security to the teachers or the other employees, they go on an annual basis for their contracts, and it's very difficult to accept and be okay with the extension of this contract. And we speak on behalf of our members who have reached out and expressed that concern, wanting to know why is it that happened? And we don't have another answer. Then that's what the board decided to do at this time, because we don't know how that can make sense at this time.
In one of the comments, guys, shortly down, it says that 1,600 we get close to $9 per day, or $1.12 per hour, and that's not including the taxes. And again, if teachers get contracts, the superintendent gets contracts. But of course, based on percentages, he gets 15,000. What's your take on this raise, so to speak? How are the teachers feeling, and what can be done from the community in regards to November elections, ladies?
Well, it's very clear. Like I mentioned, we speak on behalf of our members. I'm not going just on my thoughts alone or my feelings. And our members, quite a bit of members, have submitted how upset they are that at this time, he got that percentage of raise. Some of them expressed how personally, if they were in that position, and if you're watching out for all your employees, and I think this is a good statement that member made, if not all your employees qualify for a raise, how can you be okay with accepting that for yourself? And that's a question that was actually put out there to him, and there wasn't an answer. But we feel just like how our membership feels, and not all of them, and I'm not speaking for all of them there. I'm just speaking that some did express concerns and being very upset with that taking place at this time.
Well, I'm horrible at math, but at 3% raise, you're talking about the superintendent today, by fluffing up the board, got a $11,000 raise, $11,000 to $12,000 raise just today. How does that
is calculated? Yes.
So how does it make sense to anyone out there? Someone who hasn't even fulfilled a year on his contract, who's already gotten an extension to his contract, now just added an extra $12,000 to his pocket. $12,000 pays the salary, I would say, of one of our food nutrition persons out there, of one of our paraprofessionals, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
If I could go back very quickly, guys, and ask the ladies, do we know about the money that will be given? Is this going to be a lump sum over a month's salary? Will this raise be a part of the TRS? I think this would be beneficial for the teachers to know.
Yes. On that, if I may, the raise that got approved today is going to be stretched out. Yes, it's going to be throughout their contract. And it's going to be a raise that's going to stay on their salary from there forward. But the reason that we were advocating for that additional stipend is the petition that we had and that we presented to the board and to the superintendent is because we feel that all the employees of PIISD deserve something, and they deserve it now, not next year or not stretched out throughout the years. And we wanted, in addition to the raise, we wanted a stipend that was going to include everyone across the board, from every certified person to every classified person, because it was the district employees that pulled together that were able to help them be able to complete the school year. And it wasn't done by them just at the top. So we were pushing for that. It's been presented. Some board members have said that they're still looking at it and they're going to try. I don't see how after today, because the budget was approved for this coming year. But this raise that they did approve will be, it is a permanent raise that will be divided up throughout each paycheck.
Jimmy, one of the questions that was asked was in regards to, there's a lot of talk about pay for teachers and superintendents, but has any district even put forward an efficient plan to continue the educational needs of the kids? Have y'all come up with a plan up in Port Isabel?
As far as the new plans for the next school year?
To continue the educational needs of our children.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, that's definitely resources. Like this past board meeting, we approved so many online resources for the students. I saw a lot of things that we had been using, a lot of softwares that we've been using, and just renewing them and making sure that they are available because that's what they're going to be using. I mean, we do have the teachers teaching the classes and the lessons distantly, right? But you also have those resources that are needed, and I can tell you the money is being spent on that, on our side at least.
Micaela, do you feel that our district is prepared?
I want to ask you a question that was posted about Dr. Z.
Yeah.
From what I recall, it was proposed, but it was voted down so that the new board could decide whether to extend or not extend. And I was hoping actually that would happen because we do have an election in November. So having said that, it didn't go that way. In reference to the district being prepared, we are trying our best, and I say we, because I see our custodial staff, our food service staff, I see administration working really hard to be ready. But I don't think anyone is ready with the virus. No one is really prepared because we don't know when it's going to hit. And if it does, they have to close down and disinfect the entire area. So in reality, are we prepared? I would say nobody's prepared.
Ida?
I have to agree with that. One of the things that we've been asking is for them to focus on the distance learning and be more prepared for that. We have to move in that direction, especially right now with the numbers as we're seeing an increase on a daily basis. And I feel that they're not moving fast enough on that. They're preparing to do the in class face-to-face instruction, and that's great. But what are we doing to prepare for the distance learning and to let the teachers start preparing? Today we saw the calendar was barely approved, so now they know for sure what they're looking at as a first day of back to work. But now we need to start actually getting ready for it. And as of what we're seeing right now, we push for them to follow CDC guidelines. And right now they're not following that because it's very clear that CDC recommends for you to allow people to work from home that are able to work from home. And at this time, we have employees at PIISD that are still working in the workplace and when they can be doing their work from home. It doesn't mean it's a free day for them. It doesn't mean that it's a day off. A lot of people are working from home. I know I am, and my days are a whole lot longer. And so the employees can work from home, and we need to start doing things to help them and keep them safe. And we have mentioned that several times about allowing the employees to work from home, and it still is not being done.
One of the things that y'all mentioned when we were talking about was distant learning. Jimmy, have y'all taken any steps forward to meet the needs of our special education students?
Absolutely. We have our special education teachers filling those gaps that are needed. We make sure that that's always the priority. We're a smaller district. I never like to compare to Brownsville because you all are gigantic. But as a smaller district, it's a little more versatile for us. The teachers have a lot more of that time to meet with the students on Zoom, right, one-to-one, making sure that they're getting those extra modifications that are needed. So definitely, it's something that we do accommodate. Like I said, Brownsville's huge. I know you all have, I don't know how many more students than us, but at the same time, we do make sure that we do take care of our special education population as well as bilingual, right? Because bilingual falls under that. Just making sure that they're not falling behind, making sure that they're at least where they're supposed to be at the very minimum. So it is important for us to make sure our special education staff is giving those accommodations.
No stipend today. Absolutely, positively, no stipend for our teachers. No stipend for anyone at PIISD today. None.
But I would like to add that we're still advocating. It's not over. Remember, they're phasing in the compensation plan. So I don't lose my hope on that.
Well,
Yes, it is still very doable, as hard as it is to believe, and I know because of what we've seen. But the funding is still available there, and that is something that can still be done, and we will continue to do.
There's no doubt they have the money. They're not going to budge. The money is there. We know that the money is there. We know that the general fund is there. The money is there. There's going to be no stipends for teachers. None. And, you know, one of the things that I think teachers are very upset about, and, you know, this happened in Port Isabel as well. One of the things that people are very upset about, you know, they always said they're going to give us $5,000. And I think Jimmy and I were in San Antonio, and I think it was San Antonio, ni me acuerdo. And we sort of talked about this, and I said, they're not going to get $5,000. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's a political tool that the Republican state Senate used because a lot of them were up for election. It was a political move. And everyone out there was like, well, we're going to get $5,000. And I told teachers that came up and asked, I said, guys, no les crean. It's not going to work out to $5,000 in your pocket. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen because I'd rather tell people the truth about it. It's just not going to happen. And one of the things that is very, very, very telling is, you know, about districts is that, you know, they tend to, no hay dinero ahorita. No hay dinero, y no hay dinero, y no hay dinero. This happens in Brownsville. I'm not saying that happens in Port Isabel. No hay dinero. So I'm very, very concerned that a lot of our teachers, we could do what we can in regards to trying to get those monies out there. But this board has proven that their priorities are not on doing what is best or fighting for what is best in the best interest of the teachers. I mean, have we even come close in regards to getting a couple of yeses on there in regards to a stipend?
Today, Erasmo, it was very evident. There was a board member who advocated for a $2,000 stipend, if I'm not mistaken, and Drew Brown was very adamant and vocal against it. And Mr. Robledo came up and answered a few questions, and it was determined that it was going to be $1 million, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. $1 million added to the budget, and they were saying, well, you know, PIISD and I are going to be here for 2 years. Again, thinking hypothetically, we're going to be here for 2 years, so we're always going to be thinking about them in the next year, and the next year, and the next year. But then again, we're getting rid of teachers through attrition. They're capping off certain teachers at 30 when it should be at 35, possibly 40 or even more. So I don't appreciate the board saying that they're all about transparency. They're all about they care about the teachers when they're trying to implement a $2,000 raise, but $1 million seems a lot when in reality they're giving 4% raise to an individual who does not live in the area, does not pay taxes for the city of Brownsville or PIISD, but he gets $9,000 in more pay. That to me doesn't sit well, guys.
Frankie, I would like to make a correction. When they posted the compensation plan, and I don't know exactly when, I found out on Monday, we realized that the teacher scale only went up to 30. And I want to thank Ida for that because Ida kept communicating with administration, and thank goodness they corrected it. Now it's at 35. Okay. So they do. I do want to give credit to administration. They do help. We have been very vocal. We want to thank all our members with AOBE because they have communicated with us with their concerns, and whatever we were able to remedy was remedied. Not everything, of course. We still have to continue to evaluate both compensations, the current and the approved, so that we can see if there's any deficiencies or there's anything that needs to be corrected. So that compensation schedule for teachers was corrected. I did review it this afternoon, and it does have the 35.
Thank you.
I'll answer Tanya's question. Tanya, flip-flopping Philip went out there and spoke for Laura Perez Reyes, for Prissy, for Drew, and basically said, and for Minerva and for little Eddie también, la pingüina de Minerva and little Eddie. He went out there on the Herald and said that he is doing a spectacular job, that he has moved the district forward, an exemplary. He went, I mean, if he kissed any harder, he'd be speaking to the superintendent's mouth. That's how bad it was. He has done nothing. Nothing to merit. Nothing. $12,000 raise. Nothing. Jimmy, what extra precautions are y'all taking for our students in regards to PPE, sanitizers, clean the rooms? What's the plan?
We're looking into the one of the big, of course, sanitizers all around. Sanitizers, if you really think about it, that's one of the school supplies, right? So we're always fully sanitized with that. Definitely the facilities, making sure that there's enough hand sanitizing. We're looking into the partitions on the desks.
Yes.
That way the kids aren't, sneezing on each other or what have you. But definitely we're looking into all that already. So we're going to be prepared, even though it doesn't happen. If it does happen, we're definitely going to be prepared for worst case scenario.
Well, Jimmy, you know who here loves you, Jimmy?
Who's that?
Me. And Jimmy, I want to thank you for coming on. We had Erica come on, so we took a little bit of your time. We love you, man, and we appreciate everything you do for our community out there, what you do for our students. Really, you do a great job up there, man. I have people in Port Isabel, and they're very happy with the district. They're very, very happy and very, very content. I have friends out there that are teachers out there, and I don't get any complaints from Port Isabel. So you're doing an amazing job, man.
Thank you, and I want to thank you guys for keeping it real. Y'all are giving the information that needs to be given, especially with COVID. Making sure that everybody has the numbers, everybody has that stuff. It's a sore subject, right? But somebody has to do it. I can definitely tell you the reason I am tired is because of my job, because I actually took on a little small business also. So I've been keeping busy, trying to keep my mind away from too much of the bad stuff. But it's real, right? It's something we have to keep in mind.
Rona.
Yeah. All we can do is keep safe, keep our families safe, and practice what we need to practice. So thank you guys so much for having me on.
Thank you, Jimmy. God bless. Take care. Say hi to the superintendent out there and to all the other board members. Love them.
Will do. Thank you, guys.
And guys, thank you. Thank you for sticking around. We got some more questions for y'all.
Erasmo, if I may go back very quickly, I want to get some more clarity, because I don't think the board discussed the raise in detail. So can you be more specific? If an employee makes $30,000, how much will the raise be for this employee? Because the superintendent makes $1,000 more a month. So how does that reflect from the soup to the average employee?
It's a flat raise, so it's going off of they said by percentage it would be between the 2.86% up to around 3%, but because that's on the average scale, but it will be a flat 1680 raise. So if they're making 30,000, they will now be making 31,680 for the year.
Well, I'm not as hopeful as y'all are. I know, and I know that y'all do an amazing job. I'm very proud of what AOBE has done for our teachers and our staff out there.
Thank you.
I just don't feel as hopeful as you all that there's still a chance or a possibility that these people are going to budge and break down with a stipend for our teachers. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because I just have no confidence in them whatsoever. Do y'all really think that they're going to budge?
I completely hear you on that, Erasmo, and I can see how you feel like that. We have to be hopeful in this because we're going to continue to push for this, which is why we put it out to our membership, and we put it out to the community by the petition. If this is something that the members and the community did not feel the employees deserved, then we wouldn't be pushing for the raise. But for 1,300 signatures to come in within just a few days, because we only ran that petition a few days, for that to come in that amount of days so we could present that to them, that sends a strong message from the community and from the employees. And I believe that they should be listening. And if they don't, that goes back on them. But it has been presented to the administration and to the entire board members. So if they don't, the people are going to know that they did not make an effort or try hard enough to pass this stipend that we strongly believe every employee deserves during this pandemic. I mean, we just saw at the beginning what Erica has been going through. Yes, it's not a big financial impact that she's feeling right now, but those copays of having to go to the doctor, they add up. And we don't know how long that's going to have to continue for her. You know, hopefully not, but we don't know how many more doctor's visits she's going to have to go to because of the COVID. So right now, like one of our members said, if not now, then when we've gotten that funding from the CARES Act, to even though it's to supplant the funding that the district gets, but still it makes a difference.
Now, I would like to add this, that employees are ready. I mean, they're hardworking, they're ready to work, but they're afraid.
They are afraid.
They are afraid. And I'll speak for myself. When I presented my concern to my administrator, I told her clear out, I'm afraid to die. I will work and you can trace my work through my laptop, but I really am afraid to die. Me a month ago, if you would have asked me a month ago if I would be in your show, I would have said no. I would have never been, because I am very shy.
Well, I'm going to ask you something, Micaela, because
but people are coming out. People are coming out and they're expressing their concerns. We canceled the parade or rally and people still showed up because they're concerned. And I do have hope that board members will see the message that we are concerned. We are afraid.
Well, let me ask you something, because you know, today with Erica, you know, I just said it's very, very moving, very, very, you know, it's very heartfelt, you know, and you ache for it. But when I spoke with Erica earlier, you know, she wanted to share her story. She wanted, you know, to go out there, you know, and I think teachers, you know, they fear the district. There's fear of retaliation. There's fear to come back. And Micaela, you know, you're an employee of the district as well, you know, and you know that the fear of retaliation exists. What makes you and Erica brave enough to come up and stand up and say, you know what, enough's enough. It's time to move forward. I've never seen it before at PIISD.
The moment that I decided to step up when I said, you know what, I don't want to die. I have my family. I still have a long life to live. I have grandkids. I have a wonderful husband. I don't want to die because of carelessness. And if I feel this way, I have to have the courage to defend what I believe and those of the members. We listen to our members. We advocate for them. And they're coming out as well. They are sending us messages, and we see it every single day at all hours of the day where they're afraid. But they're not saying that, okay, I don't want to work. They're saying I want to work as long as I'm safe.
Right. Well, the board should be forced and pressured to explain why extended that ridiculous contract. Well, it's very easy. And Frankie made mention of it. Patricia and Drew basically said, screw you, Brownsville. We're here for 2 more years. Screw you. We're going to do whatever the hell we want. That's what I translated to. Screw y'all. We've got 2 more years to go, unless they're taken in by the FBI or by the Department of Justice in order to testify of how they worked to put money to foment the culture that permitted Sylvia Atkinson to steal from our students. But with that said, they're arrogant enough to go out there and say, screw them, screw all those teachers that were out there, they're wanting the stipend, screw all those teachers that are out there concerned about their safety. We're protected up here once, twice a week when we come to our meetings. And you know what? We still got 2 years on our term. So screw you. That's what they said. That's what they said. And you know how I know that's what they said? Because that's what's reflected on extending his damn contract. It's stupid. Stupid. It's stupid. It makes no sense to anyone. How the superintendent is getting paid $400,000 a year, gets an extra $12,000? What the hell has he done? Nothing. But placed our students in danger. Placed our staff in danger. Where now staff want to come out and express their concerns because they're in fear. I'm tired.
Guys, I have some more questions in regards to this raise, and I do apologize, but it's still a little bit, it doesn't make too much sense, because if I'm not mistaken, teachers were given 3% raise. Am I correct?
It's an average of around 2.86 to 3%.
Okay, so if a teacher making 70,000, 3%, it comes out to 2,100, not the 1,680. So how is that fair for them if they're advocating for 3%, if they're not getting that extra $500?
Because they're going off of an average salary. They're not going off of theirs personally. So that is why.
Well, it's the market.
What else is embedded when it comes to a superintendent? We just don't know, because they secretly, behind closed doors, they modified his contract. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not out yet. Didn't they just modify his contract again? No?
Yeah, they did.
We
haven't seen the full contract yet.
We haven't seen it. But again, they go and they do things behind closed doors because it's convenient for them, because they don't care. Do it out in the open. For the benefit of taxpayers, contract extensions need to become non-political. To do this, a policy should be developed that stipulates exactly when they can happen, such as when X amount of months remain in the contract. This would remove guilt, compadrismo, and quid pro quo, which is what it is. Superintendent gives them their little pet projects. Drew gets to hire Kent Whittemore to move people here, move people there, move people everywhere. Gets to hire her PI guy. Drew gets to hire everyone that put money in her campaign. This would remove quid pro quo from the equation from all board members. It would help prevent expensive buyouts and lawsuits as well. That's what this guy wants, I would say. Buy him out. Craziness. It's madness. And I think it's just madness. And sometimes I rack my brain trying to go, well, let me try to make some sense of this, I mean, have y'all ever done that? Let me try to make some sense of this. I mean, let me try to give him the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes Frankie says this, and I think, I don't know why. Let me be the devil's advocate, Let me try and be, But how can you justify anything that they've just done? No stipend, minimal raise. They spit in the face of teachers. They put them in harm's way. They increase the contract of the superintendent by a year. They give him $12,000. How can we justify and say, well, let me give him the benefit of the doubt? We can't. Anyone out there? Can anyone give him the benefit of the doubt? No.
Erasmo, the president of the United States is making $400,000, and we have the superintendent for Brownsville, one of the poorest regions, poorest cities in the whole U.S., making just about the same. He's only been on the job for a year, and he's already given a 1-year extension. It's very sad whenever at these budget committee meetings they say that we don't have money, but then again we're giving the superintendent a very cushy raise. So it boggles my mind. How in our right minds can we look the community in the face and say, hey, we're being responsible with your money, with the taxpayers' money? It just doesn't seem right to me.
When we changed the compensation formula currently in place, it was very clear how much everyone was going to earn. Now they can lowball or overpay someone with no justification. Is that true, guys?
Yes, I think so.
That's why we're so against that. The gender case forced BISD to put something into the compensation plan where it would prevent that being possible. So now with this new proposed compensation plan, we don't see that in there.
But it's not only gender discrimination, it's also age and equal pay. So you're dealing with several federal violations, actually.
And like I said, that is why it has been forwarded to our legal department, and they are reviewing that. But there's a lot of things that are left out from this compensation plan, and but we will see what comes out of that. And we have shared our concerns about that with administration, with the superintendent and administration, as to what this plan can possibly do for the employees in the future, and the possible cases that can come out of this.
Erasmo, can I bring up Sylvia?
Sure. Is she out there?
Well, in some way or another, in today's board meeting, there was an agenda item for a recommendation and approval of the purchases, and I want to get everybody's take on this, especially yours, Erasmo. There was a unanimous vote on screens with cameras equipped with microphones for the sum of $3 million. And one of the administrators, when she got up on the podium, she specifically said, "Oh, Mary Tolman, she worked on this." Now, my take is, are we still allowing this woman to be involved with the federal grants money and something like this with so much $3 million being involved? Does this sit well with the current board, with her sister being in the situation that she's in?
Well, I'll answer that.
Please, Erasmo.
Sure. Sylvia has to pay her attorney fees somehow. Sylvia needs to. She needs to figure out how, and how to. But look, guys. I've been saying this for a while already, and I don't know if y'all, Ida, you and Micaela, y'all watch the show. But anyway, let me tell you, I've been saying this for a while now, guys. Already, I forgot what I was saying for a while already, guys.
Rookie.
I've been saying this for a while in regards to Sylvia and the money. Look, we need audits. We need to audit an independent auditor to come in, independent, completely independent from the district, come in and audit every single department that Sylvia had her grubby, greedy, dirty, filthy, rata hands on. Every single one of them. And especially the one where her sister still holds on to. And again, I'm not accusing Mary of anything. But goodness gracious, audit. This will protect Mary. I love Mary.
Erasmo, would it be the right thing for this board to reassign Tolman while Sylvia's case is being dealt with? Would that be the responsible thing to do?
Well, I will say this, and look, me and Mary are not buddies, we're not buddies. But let me tell you, I don't want her suffering because of Sylvia's stupidity, in any way, shape, or form. I don't want anyone else to suffer or to have any retaliation or anything because of any association, because she's related to Sylvia. That would be something that they would do. I don't ever want to be that person. But anyone that has done anything wrong at the district, anyone, I don't care whose sister they are, whose brother they are. I don't care if they're sleeping with a superintendent. I don't care if they're sleeping with the board member. I don't care at all. If they've done something wrong, they must pay. And we, the community, can make them pay for all that they've done. But again, I don't want anything against, and just because she's her sister. Now, on a personal level, again, I don't like her. And she doesn't like me at all. And, that's very well known. But again, on a business, professional side, you separate your emotions from business and you do what is in the best interest of the district. And right now, the best interest of the district and is in the best interest of Mary Tolman and the best interest of everyone out there is for there to be an independent audit to make sure that of how badly Sylvia had her grubby rata hands in here, because Sylvia's a rata. Drew hired her little buddies in regards to insurance and moved people from one position to another position in order to make it easy for Sylvia to grab her greedy, grubby, puffy, rata, marrana hands on all that money. I hate her. Sylvia, give back the money! Sylvia! Sorry, guys. Too many personal agendas. No, es que Katy is right. They all have their little pet projects. And that's why Drew goes out there and moves. Oh, let me hire Kent Whittemore. And then we shuffle here. And then we go do this over here. And then, all of a sudden, and Ken goes, I quit. I quit. I don't want to do with any of this crap. But yeah, after he already got them what they wanted. I'm tired. Board members don't get paid. Let me tell you, buddy, they get money. They get a lot more than 3% raise that were given to our teachers today. A lot more. We all know they do. I know I'm the only one talking, but sorry. Is the scooter 4x4? No, I've actually looked today to buy a new scooter. So if anyone wants to break down with some cash, I need. How many members does AOBE have, and how many actually vote? That's a great question.
That is a great question. We actually encourage our members a lot to vote. I don't think that the educators realize how much power that we have. And if we would just unite and stick together on certain issues, we would be able to control so many things at your local level, at your state level, and national level. I'm hoping that right now, this time, will bring a lot of awareness as to what these elected officials, where they stand and how supportive they were during this pandemic. And I'm hoping that is what is going to bring out people to vote, because a lot of people feel that it's going to be the same old thing, and it's not very important, and it doesn't make a difference, but it does, and we have the power to be able to change a lot of the things.
Well, let me tell you, I don't want only my AOBE people to vote. I don't only want my other association. I just don't want them to go out and vote. I want them to take somebody to vote. And I want them to take 2 or 3 people out there to vote. I want to get this pushed. And I want to say something, because I heard something on the recording for the meeting today. And you know what? If someone really disgusts me, almost as much as Sylvia Atkinson, is butt kissers. I have no use for butt kissers. And let me tell you, I don't know if he's part of y'all's group or anything, but this Patrick Hammonds is a butt kisser. And for him to go out there and call, the president of AOBE out there saying, "Oh, well, where have you been?" Well, at least she hasn't been up there kissing Minerva's butt, you idiot. Taking little Prissy to lunch everywhere, drinking a coffee with little Eddie and hugging him and kissing their butt. That's what she hasn't been doing, you idiot. Start representing the people that are paying you your boat and your car payment, moron, idiot, stupid. Stop.
If I may on that, I'm sorry. Just I don't mean to laugh. It's just when you start yelling. But I did hear him say that. In my opinion, I thought that was very unprofessional. He doesn't know. He doesn't stand together with us. I think that they're both a little upset, maybe because during this pandemic, a lot of their members maybe are seeing what it is that they have been doing for them, and they were a little upset, and that's why they both kind of tried to attack us, and even one of the board members did too. But that's fine. We know we are strongly advocating for our members that speak up and let us know of issues that are going on. And we're going to continue to advocate at that level. We have not been at the board meetings since this pandemic, because we practice what we preach of safety first. And if you see meetings, everybody going up using the same mic, the podium. Nobody sanitizes it in between speakers. Nobody nobody is wearing their mask when they're speaking into the mic, and we see where there is a violation of the 6 feet of the social distancing. So we are not going to expect our members to go and speak, and our leaders or president, anybody to go and speak. But we have been requesting since March, since the shutdown, to do the virtual public speaking. And finally today we got it, and it was able to, even though we had some technical difficulties, but we finally got that. And because like I said, we practice what we preach, and safety is at the top of that list right now. And we're not going to put people at risk, but everybody knows, our membership knows how much we've been advocating for them at this time, and we're going to continue. And if they don't like that, or whatever the case might be, I don't think we should get unprofessional about it like he did, and try to, I mean, he was being very negative, but that's on him, and we just don't go there.
Yeah, they don't get paid officially.
Hey, Aida, very quickly, speaking in regards to organizations, can anybody start an organization? Are these other employee organizations, are they legal?
Funny you should ask that. The other organizations, they're not a chartered organization. We are the only one that is chartered officially, and they one of them, as you all are aware of, and I know several people have mentioned about how he started it from his backyard and things like that. They basically can do whatever it is that they want to do. We follow a lot of guidelines and bylaws that are in place for us. So I can't go up and say, oh, I'm going to say this and I'm going to fight for this because that's what benefits me. No, we have the bylaws in place, and we have to follow that. And plus, we get annual financial audits, so which are open records. You can see where all the financial expenses are going to, and we don't hide anything like that. We have true transparency. But the other organizations, because they are not chartered, they basically can do what they want, and that is what they do. So we don't concentrate on what it is that they do. Well, we concentrate on doing as much as we can for our members.
I also want to mention that we are a member organization. We, the members, actually run the organization. We are volunteers. We're not paid. We do it because we want to help our community. We want to help our school district. And we do it because we want to. I've learned so much about our laws that protect us. And that's why I'm becoming more and more vocal. But most importantly, I do believe that we can make a difference. They were going to approve their compensation as is. Now they're phasing it in. So even though there wasn't many cars out there, it made a point.
You did. And let me tell you something, Mo. I can promise you that I will not spend more than $5,000 on a PIISD race. I promise you. I say it out in public, officially. I will not be spending $5,000, more than $5,000 on this campaign, on this race.
Hey, Aida, very quickly, based on what you said, and I hate to put you on the spot again, but can they give out political donations to candidates?
Can who give out political donations?
The organizations, if they're legal or not.
It depends. Like I said, we have bylaws in place. They can pretty much do whatever they want. They can choose to endorse whoever it is that they choose to endorse. We have a different process. There is a percentage amount that goes into PAC funds, And that is the amount, because we're not allowed to donate to any candidates or any campaigns from the dues money. So it has to come strictly from the PAC funds. And there is a process in order to decide if a candidate is going to be able to receive any PAC funding from us. And that goes back to because we have the bylaws, and that is what has to be followed. The other associations, they're not, when you're not chartered, you pretty much can make your own rules as you go. And even BEST is not big enough to be part of AFT. It is a non-chartered local, and some of these members are seeing that when they're switching over and they're looking at the drop form and they're like, well, where does it say BEST? No, BEST is just what he calls himself here locally. And yeah, to answer your question, yes, they can do whatever it is that they want, but we have a process of contributing to candidates.
Oh, y'all do contribute to candidates? I never got any cash from you.
Through a PAC fund.
Huh?
Through PAC money, yes.
Oh, wow, that's good to know.
Interesting.
No, let me say something. You know, I'm going to say this very, very, very bluntly. You know, I've always appreciated BEST. When I was on the board, I appreciated BEST. I've gone to every single function that they've ever sponsored. You know, we traveled to Austin together, you know, to fight for public education. You know, I still have my plaque here on my wall. You know,
you traveled with BEST?
You traveled
with AOBE.
Hey, whoa.
Oh, no, I travel with the BEST Association.
Hey, there you go.
No, you know, all kidding aside, you know, I traveled with AOBE, the BEST Association here. And again, and Micaela's here and Ida's here. They'll know, you know, I never got any money from them at all. Or do I ever expect to get any money from AOBE in any way, shape, or form? And, you know, again, I'm not out there. And they know me, and people in Brownsville know me. I don't kiss anyone's butt for any reason whatsoever. You give praise to those that deserve praise, and you call out the people that you need to call out. And I'm sorry, guys. And I've told my friends out there, if you are with BEST, you are making a mistake. I'm sorry. I cannot. No tolero. I cannot suffer to see people that are taking my people's money and then going out to eat with board members, and instead of fighting for my people, they're out there kissing their big butts. I can't stand it, and I will call it out every single day. And I'm done. I'm tired with especially with Patrick. I'm sorry, him and Minerva and a little Eddie, and La Prisi, idiot. Safe to party with Jimmy next weekend. I like Jimmy. I think if TASB is working from home, why can't teachers work from home? Exactly. They need to.
Excellent point right there, and that's something that we've said before. You know, TASB is giving these recommendations, but yet they're working safely from home.
Don't ask us what the cream. It hurts my ears, and my TV speakers are going to blow. Love you, Maria. Sorry. Yep. It's all about Truly United coming together to make this district a better district. Erasmo, please yell out. Please wear your masks. And please social distance, guys. Please. For the love of our community, for the love of all our people out there, please social distance. Ida, any last words?
No, I'm just asking for our people to continue to reach out to us if they have issues. And I know we didn't see today's board meeting go as well as what we were hoping for, but do know that we are going to continue to advocate for you, and we're not giving up on this. Several people were left out of this raise, and we are not happy with that. And we are going to continue to push for this one-time stipend because you have voiced, the community has voiced about it being well-deserved. So just continue to hang in there with us, and we're going to continue to push for you and push for safe schools, for distance learning, because that's what the majority of our membership has shown to be wanting for this coming year, especially right now. And you continue to voice to us, and we're doing the best that we can for each and every one of our members.
Good job. And Micaela, any last words?
We need to stand together. We need to stand in solidarity. We did make a difference today. We did. We can continue to do so. So we need to continue. If we send you a text blast asking you to join us, please do so. Remember, we can make a difference not only locally, but at the state and national level. So please, teachers, please, anyone, any educator, from the custodians to the drivers to FNS, anyone, we need to stand together. Please help us.
Amen.
Exactly. And if I can add
Go.
that, I'm sorry, Erasmo,
Go.
that yes, we did make a difference today. Even though we didn't see everything that we wanted, we were able to make a difference because they didn't approve the entire compensation plan as they intended to. It's going to be in the different phases, and we're going to continue to advocate for the discrepancies that we're seeing here, our concerns that we have on that. So it's not over. So don't give up on that. We're going to continue to push for that.
Thank y'all, guys. Frankie, last words.
Very quickly before I get in trouble, special shout outs to all my friends on the bachelor party chat: Chilo, Eric, Warlos, Alex, Changuito, Ernest, Jason, Narlos, Warly, Joe, Mikey, David Cook, and Roel. Thank you for watching, guys, and keeping up. I had an amazing day today at Erasmo. It was a great experience that I was a part of with AOBE that they helped organize. You know, at first we were a little bit worried because of the weather, but thank God it cleared up, and it turned out to be a great event after the circumstances of the weather. It's only like that, guys, that we're gonna show this city, show this district that we mean business. For far too long, we have had individuals such as Sylvia Atkinson and her minions use their political seat for their own enrichment and their own political gain. That stops November 2020. We need to vet candidates. We need to see who is going to be there for us as a community, because this seat belongs to us. It does not belong to them. It is only with organizing and coming together, such as we did. And Micaela is right. It wasn't a lot of people, but with the turnout and with the weather, it was a great demonstration of people coming together, showing their dissatisfaction with this school board, with this leadership. I'm so excited for this coming election because I know that we will find individuals worthy enough of our vote. So we thank you, AOBE. Y'all have been at the forefront ever since this pandemic started. It's an honor to have y'all ladies here. I hope you guys make it a common theme to come on more on this show. That way we could keep our community informed, create dialogue, and be that voice for those teachers, for those employees that aren't being represented and are scared of being retaliated against. So the invitation will always be open to you, ladies. Thank you so much, and have a good night.
Thank you.
And I'll finish off by saying, you give praise where praise is due, and you call out what needs to be called out. And my buddy Aaron, as they said it perfectly, it was very, very disgraceful for Patrick to go out there and say something that he has no knowledge about whatsoever. And I've had the honor and pleasure. If there's anyone that knows the community of Brownsville, is Erasmo Castro, because I'm the king of all local social media. And besides being handsome and totally not fat, I've seen the hard work that y'all have done. I've seen the advocating, and it's not because y'all have come out and told me. It's because I hear it from my people. I am in tune with my people. My people know Erasmo Castro, and I know my people. And my people, they're very appreciative. So thank y'all so much for everything you do for my people out there. And we'll continue to fight together. And again, to everyone out there, guys, we want you to join. We want all our community to come together and to fight together, because I disagree with a lot of things that a lot of people said, because things don't change. They're not going to change. They can change. And as Micaela said, today was the start of change. And let's continue on to November 3rd and even past November 3rd together. God bless. Stay safe. Maintain social distancing. Love y'all. Take care of each other. Take care of me, please. Bye, guys.